point quickly.
Second point is very simple. At the end of the day, it's exactly this issue. It's going to be turnout and organization and mobilization. And I do think that the Republicans have done a much better job this time than 2020, but the Democrats are always the best at it. So time will tell.
Hear you on that. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. All the best to you. And I retreat now to watch as the results come in. Recall, the last election, Trump won only one of the 7 swing states. Only one. And he lost the Electoral College vote. Let's see if he does better this time or if Harris holds what Biden brought home at the last election in 2020. This has been Lead Story. Thank you very much. I'm Equin of Nika Lewis with the news at 7.
No more fear of missing out. CVM TV News is on YouTube. Get up-to-date news, sports, and business content at CVM TV News anytime, anywhere. Subscribe now to CVM TV News to see it happen.
Welcome to CVM News at noon. It's Wednesday, November 6, 2024. I'm Nika Lewis. Thanks so much for having joined us. In U.S. is where we begin. Donald Trump has emerged victorious in the 2024 United States presidential election, marking his return to the White House after previously serving from 2017 to 2021. The election was characterized by intense campaigning and significant voter turnout, reflecting deep divisions within the American electorate. As the votes were tallied on election night, it became clear that Trump was reclaiming key battleground states that had slipped from his grasp in the previous election. His campaign focused heavily on issues such as immigration reform, economic recovery, and national security.
America's 47th president. He claimed victory, of course, a couple of hours ago, but now it is official with that projected win for Donald Trump. We've been waiting on votes coming to us from Wisconsin. We have them now. That's put him over the top. Donald Trump, America's 47th president, and of course, America's 45th president as well. Just 4 years ago, of course, Donald Trump came up short, losing to Joe Biden after the country waited days for the results. Not the case this time. It has been just hours, and Donald Trump is heading back to the White House as America's 47th president. With this, Donald Trump becomes only the second president in U.S. history to serve 2 non-consecutive terms in office. The 78-year-old will also be the oldest person to assume the presidency when he is sworn into office in January. The president-elect, as he is now, made immigration and economy the top priorities for his campaign. And as we've seen, they're issues that have resonated with the American people. With this result, this projected result, that Donald Trump will be America's 47th president. It's been quite the campaign, quite the year indeed for Donald Trump. He survived an assassination attempt earlier this year in July when a gunman shot him in the ear at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. That was just days, of course, before he formally accepted his party's nomination. Just a few months later, the Secret Service foiled another alleged assassination plot at one of his golf courses in Florida. But what we're talking about tonight, of course, Donald Trump becoming America's 47th president. That projection coming to us from our CBS News partners. Now, as Donald Trump takes office again, he continues to face dozens of criminal charges, including for election.
Back home now, today is nomination day for by-elections in 2 parliamentary constituencies and 2 municipal divisions in Jamaica. The constituencies involved are South Trelawney and Northwest St. Andrew, while the municipal divisions are Annan Town and Morant Bay. In South Trelawney, the seat was vacated by Marissa Dalrymple Philibert, who resigned in September of last year following an adverse report from the Integrity Commission that was tabled in Parliament. She is running as the candidate for the Jamaica Labour Party, the JLP, while in Northwest St. Andrew, Councillor Dwayne Smith is vying to replace Dr. Nigel Clark, who resigned as Member of Parliament and Cabinet Minister to take up a senior position at the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. The by-elections in both municipal divisions were prompted by the deaths of the sitting councillors. Director of Elections Glaspole Brown assured that there have been no adverse reports from any of the nomination centres across the island. The storm warnings have been lifted, allowing for a smooth process today. Later in the newscast, we will hear from our reporters on the ground as to what is happening there. After much protests and constant pleading, supporters of the People's National Party in the Morant Bay Division have finally had their wishes granted. Adrian Williams shares with us what residents in the Top Hill community are saying about the recent announcement of a by-election in the division.
With the announcement of by-elections for various divisions across the country, residents in the Eastern St. Thomas's Morant Bay Division are expressing delight, which comes after several protests by People's National Party supporters following the untimely passing of the party's councillor, Rowan Bryan, in May.
We are also happy. The people of Morant Bay have the opportunity now to choose the political leader that they so desire. And we are more than happy. And I am saying this without water in our mouth. We are anticipating the 6th of this month, when we will march out and show this country who is it that we are selecting to be our candidate.
One resident believes that after the death of the councillor, the office's management has neglected the people of the division.
But we are protesting because we have watched millions of dollars walk through the former councillor's office onto the streets without benefiting the division.
Confidence remains high as they prepare to go to the polls to show their support for PNP candidate Rosemary Shaw.
We are so confident with Rosemary Shaw as our candidate because Rosemary Shaw is almost 3 times more popular than our councillor Rowan Bryan. She served the people well, and we know that she's coming home with the victory. We are confident and we are happy. Time come.
Adrian Williams reporting for CVM News.
It's not that they don't want to contest, but they don't want to lose, end quote. Because that's the conclusion drawn by the local government minister in response to the opposition's refusal to contest any of the constituency by-elections set for later this month. He was addressing party supporters at a constituency meeting in central Kingston, a former PNP enclave, on Sunday. Jamaica Labour Party JLP Deputy Leader and Kingston Western Member of Parliament Desmond McKenzie is encouraging the PNP to test the government's mettle by challenging all 4 of the upcoming by-elections. This as he expressed much confidence in the work of the JLP in Central Kingston and Area Council 1, adding he's sure they'll retain their wins when the elections are called.
I am pretty sure that whenever the Prime Minister decides to announce the date, we are going to continue the dominance that we have in Area Council 1 on behalf of the Jamaica Labour Party. So I'm not worried. I want them to try and test our ability in 2 weeks' time in the by-election.
He assures supporters the PNP won't accept the challenge as they are not confident of victory at the constituency level in the by-elections.
It's not that they are saying that election is due next year. and they can't wait. The fact is that they don't want to lose an election. So when you hear they say they're not contesting very sorry to win, it's not that they don't want to, but they can't. They feel they stand a better chance in Morant Bay, which is theirs, which we're going to take from them.
However, a deeper assessment of the situation led the deputy leader to believe even greater things are possible.
They feel that in Indian Town, a division that we took from them. So they want to really show whether or not they are gaining traction. Contest all by-election. Don't choose the ones that you feel you can win. But tonight we're not taking anything for granted.
Meantime, recent polls have shown the PNP outpacing the JLP in favorability by about 9 percentage points, with some pundits speculating the Mark Golding PNP is pulling on its base amid the momentum.
We take a break ahead of our discussion segment up next.
Food and Drink Festivals Meat Street and the Market is back in partnership with the Port Authority of Jamaica. Saturday, November 9, 3 to 10 p.m. at the historic Naval Dockyard in Port Royal, Kingston. Food trucks, restaurants and chefs galore. Enjoy CB pan chicken, Helsha style fish, gourmet pastas, veggie delights, street eats and so much more. Guided tours, live entertainment and kids zone. Park and ride with JUTC. Meat Street and the Market. Saturday, November 9. Adults 2,000, children under 10 free. Tickets at JA Food and Drink Kitchen on Cork's Constant Spring, Candy Craze Waterloo, CPJ Market and Geno's Pharmacy Portmore. Pay with Visa or buy online at jafoodanddrink.com.
Stop buying expensive toner cartridges. Global Ink is now selling new factory direct generic toners. Remove factory seals, install and print. Engineered to work first time, every time. Certified for use in HP and Brother printers. Worry-free, affordable printing for your peace of mind. Money saved is money earned. We deliver island-wide. 754-7444 or 1-888-NEED INK. Never run out of toner again. Global Ink.
Our days get a little complex sometimes. Often so many things make sense, yet so many do not. We are being intentional about giving prominence to the big stories in order to clarify and enlighten. Lead Story explains who, what, when, where, why, and how. Lead Story with George Davis, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVM TV.
When was you in the Temptation?
Steve knows style. Family Feud.
Brought to you by We Are the Caring Store, waiting to serve you. It's time to experience independent living. Visit us today.
Welcome back. Today is nomination day for 4 by-elections to be held later on this month, and the festivities have already begun. Supporters from the Ainan Town Division in Clarendon are out in their numbers, awaiting the nomination of the JLP's Suzette Barton and the PNP's Delroy Dawson. Our reporter Trisha Gay Kelly is on location to give us more details. Trisha Gay, all the way out there in Clarendon, what's the mood on the ground?
Hi, Lisa. It's full of festivities. The JLP, and the Prime Minister, just arrived, and the festivities are higher than when we just got here. For the PNP, however, we aren't seeing much for them. I believe that's because the JLP will be nominating their candidate first. But so far, the JLP are out in their numbers, and they're having a party. I even have a supporter here with me to talk to, and he's joining me now to tell us why they are supporting their candidate. Hi. Second name for us, Erica Blake, and why are you supporting your candidate? Because we love, support, and we see what they're doing for us. And do you believe he will be able to carry on? Yes. I so you have no doubt that the PNP will take over again? We can't. Oh, why? Come and tell them why the PNP can't take over again. Huh? Come and tell them. And how sure are you about the PNP or the JLP right now?
The JLP is the party that built the country. The PNP mashed down the country and take every resource out of the country. So we have to vote for the JLP.
So,
shower!
All right, you heard it from them. You heard it best from them. Their candidate is Miss Susan Martin, and she's going up against Mr. Delroy Dawson from the PNP. He lost in the local government election this year, and he's hoping to reclaim that seat actually for all these years. The JLP made history when they won this year, and so they're hoping to continue that legacy, and we'll see if the PNP can claim it. But for now, especially as you can see in my background, yeah, we'll get back to you on that.
Right. So we know that there is also a PNP candidate in this race, and that's Mr. Dawson, Delroy Dawson. Are you seeing supporters in favor of Mr. Dawson?
Not as yet. I believe because the JLP are celebrating right now, and I believe they will be nominating their candidate first. They are having their festivities, and as soon as they're finished, the PNP will come and do the same. So we haven't seen much of the PNP yet.
Understood. In terms of turnout, did you see large numbers? Was it trickling in? What was it like at the polling station? Well, sorry, we don't reach polling yet. At the nomination center?
Well, for the nomination center, there aren't many people there. Nomination has not begun as yet. So as I'm explaining to you, so festivities right about now, where they have a lot of supporters. Yeah.
And we look forward to hearing more from you, Trisha Gay, as the activities today close. So that's our reporter over there in Ainantown, Clarendon, Trisha Gay Kelly, taking tabs on the candidates on the PNP side and the JLP side. But the Independent Commission of Investigations, or INDECOM, is looking into a fatal police shooting that occurred on Sunday, November 3 in Freetown, Clarendon. The incident involved Romario Rowe, who was fatally shot during an alleged confrontation with the police. According to the initial report, officers were at the location to investigate the case of a stolen property when a struggle reportedly ensued. During this altercation, it's alleged that Rowe attempted to grab an officer's firearm, leading to the officers discharging their weapons. Rowe was subsequently taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. INDECOM continues its investigation into the circumstances surrounding that incident. And still on the political scene, in the heat of nomination day proceedings, the Morant Bay division has been transformed with party supporters and party leaders for the People's National Party, PNP, and the Jamaica Labour Party, JLP. The by-election for the division has been called following the death of former PNP councillor Rowan Washi. That's Rowan Washi Bryan, and the seats are now contested by Winston Downey for the JLP and Rosemary Shaw for the PNP. We will also have much more to tell you about that in our news at 7. Pets have been scientifically proven to soothe and reduce stress, but featured this morning on Sunrise were the impact of horses on persons' moods. Veterinarians explained further.
Well, you know that animals in general, there's a whole great body of evidence now, scientific evidence, that interaction with animals is good for us, emotionally, mentally, and physically. And most people would think that you're going to be doing that with, the pets, the dogs, cats, rabbits, birds, what have you, that are close to us, that are little, that we interact with on a daily basis. But this also can include horses. And there are a number of ways that we utilize horses in this kind of therapy. There is one called hippotherapy, and hippo is not coming from hippopotamus, although hippopotamus really means river horse. Hippo comes from the Greek hippos, which means horse, right? And this involves utilizing the movement of the horse for people often children, but adults too, with some kind of neurological or functional disability. So it's great for things like, say, autism spectrum disorder, stroke, any kind of traumatic brain injury, multiple sclerosis, any kind of even learning disabilities, because you're utilizing your senses, you're utilizing your sense of balance, and also building your confidence in being on this animal.
The National Works Agency is working to restore access to roads after landslides and flooding due to Tropical Storm Rafael. Works Minister Robert Morgan, in a post-cabinet media briefing on Wednesday, says work has begun to clear roads as schools prepare to reopen. However, it will take more time to address communities with more severe rockfall and damage to those roadways.